Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Oh, today we're talking love and marriage Huntsville. Y'all know why y'all here. Anything I say is alleged in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. So a couple housekeeping meat and potato items. It is free to follow me, free to subscribe to this channel, Anonymous Tea, free to subscribe to my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast, free to follow me on the Tickety Talks at Anonymous Tea Podcast, free to follow me on the Instagrammies at Anonymous Reality Tea. Thank you guys so much for the 20K. I am so grateful. So I literally had tried going live a couple of times and I don't know what happened. So we're going to try this again probably tomorrow, this go live situation, because I don't know. I was live and I saw nothing and I didn't know what was happening and I didn't see anything on YouTube that said anything was happening. So I'm a little lost in the sauce. So I'm trying to figure this out on the fly, and we're going to try this again tomorrow. We're going to try this again tomorrow so that I can interact with you guys and thank you guys more formally and everything else. But I wanted to get you guys this video because I know it's Super Bowl Sunday. I know a lot's going on and everything else. And I just wanted to talk to you guys in particular about the leaked reunion footage. So those of you who don't know, because I actually didn't know until a little while ago, that they're allegedly, now this is all alleged, so allegedly on the streaming app Philo and allegedly on Own On Demand. Again, I'm not sure if this is completely accurate, but this is what I'm hearing. And I saw, I believe it was from Latrice on Twitter. Also, it posted a couple of the clips as well. And these were the alleged grooming allegations that Mel did not want to see the light of day because it was damaging. It was reminiscent of Real Housewives of Atlanta season 9 with RAPE Gate. It seemed as though, we really went hard in the paint. A lot of content creators went hard in the paint as far as exposing that synopsis. That was on Rotten Tomatoes, that was on DirecTV, that was on IMDb, that was on several locations, and grooming was on there. It said specifically about Destiny saying that Mel and Tel were grooming her for a threesome. And so, nonetheless, we discovered that they took that completely out of the synopsis, and for most people who watched the episode, I did not watch the episode, but for most people who watched the episode, it was nowhere to be found. The whole segment, it was an extended segment of, behind the scenes stuff and extra montages of things that nobody cares about and all of these things. So everybody thought, okay, people listened to the lawyers, people understood the assignment, leave this alone. This is too far. So nonetheless, I have seen the clips, you guys. And here's the thing. I'm not playing the video. I'm not playing the audio. I know there's going to be some people who will. For my integrity, for my morals, and with how people are snatching people's channels, are putting copyright strikes on people, are limiting people's ads for videos and this and that, it's not going down here. It's not happening here. Absolutely not. No bueno. Absolutely under zero circumstances, y'all. So, nonetheless, I want to talk about a couple of things that I noticed. And basically, if this was leaked on purpose, whether it was to try to drive up ratings, or they may think that the ratings are going to be low for the reunion part 2 episode, or this is a get back at Mel for quitting the show. I don't know the rationale, and it doesn't matter, right? The fact of the matter is somebody was not on the job. Somebody did not, as Mel said, do their due diligence to make sure all of the streaming apps that the Love and Marriage Huntsville show airs, whether it is Max, whether it's Philo, whether it's Own On Demand, wherever, that all the appropriate scenes and everything else is accounted for. The correct edited episode is accounted for. And it seems that this was I don't know if this was an oversight I don't know if this was intentional. I don't know if this was a mistake, but it seems very fishy. It seems very suspect. And for this to come out like this, I think it's on TikTok. I think it's been shared in Facebook groups. I know somebody DM'd me a screenshot. Like it's ridiculous. And honestly, to be completely and utterly 100 with y'all, I was heartbroken for Mel. I was saddened for Mel, and I could not believe that the show had took this to this type of a low, and it went too far. It went absolutely too far, and as far as I'm concerned, everyone's complicit. Everyone is complicit, and it just shows how disgusting and how low people will go when you do not want to be their friend, when you do not want to be married to them anymore. And my whole thing is, with friends like these, with exes like these, who needs enemies? Who needs enemies, people? Because if people are just going to be airing you out like this and telling your business to people, and then people putting their own spin on it, putting their own type of tea on it and everything else, and adding their own little type of butter on everything else, and then next thing you know, it turns into a scandal, it turns into defamatory things, it turns into slander. It's disgusting. So nonetheless, what happened is we get into the grooming allegation, right? And basically, Carlos King's rationale, he's trying to make it seem like this is about the clip where, Destiny says if she wanted to, she could have had Mel or Tell. Like, just complete and utter nonsense. So she's trying to allege that there have been all these conversations about threesomes. And first, everyone was under the impression that this was about a threesome between Mel, Tell, and Destiny. But then she kept looking over at Martel for like reassurance, for like confirmation about stuff and all this other foolishness. And, it sounded like she was trying to frame the conversation to Destiny and their pillow talk to make it seem as though Mel was open to threesomes. However, because of the fact that he kept cheating on her, she shut it down. But the way Destiny originally presented it, she made it seem like she was the one being approached and propositioned for the threesomes with Mel and Tell. So again, another lawsuit, account right there that this is hearsay. You don't know this for a fact. You're regurgitating things that you are hearing from Martel because Martel wants to destroy Mel, right? And so then we have some weird allegation about Martel and Mel allegedly trying to get busy somewhere. And I don't know if this was a hotel room or what, but it sounded like it was a relative or somebody else, that there was 2 queen beds and Mel and Tell apparently were getting frisky, and somebody spoke up and said, H-E-double-L, no, this ain't about to go down. This is so disgusting, and this is so trash, and this is just so bottom of the barrel behavior, you guys. And so, they bleeped out whoever the person's name was. Not sure if it was a relative of Martel's or whoever else, but at this point, I don't even know if any of this is even true, but it just sounds deplorable. It sounds like something Martel and his concubine were probably trying to do, and somebody else, or one of his other, whomever, because Mel had zero recollection of what was taking place, because I think in Mel's mind, she's thinking to herself, this is getting so outrageous that now you're just making up flat out lies. And my thing is this, what is Destiny's storyline that she's getting on a freaking show, making up stuff about things that would have been at least 5, 6, 7 years ago or more when Mel and Tell was married? Nobody cares. It's 2025. And the reunion was taped at the end of freaking 2024. We don't care about any of this because none of it matters. But my thing is, if you are making grooming allegations against Mel, against Tell, why in the heck did you come back on this show? Why are you spending all this time with Martel and the 4-piece nuggets? And you've got your son around Martel that you call as your brother, if he and Mel allegedly are grooming you. Do you understand the implications of what that means, Destiny? You specifically kept saying grooming on purpose because you knew what that entailed. Make it make sense. So nonetheless, she's trying to go down this rabbit hole of grooming. she's trying to make these allegations of these alleged conversations, and Nell is like, well, wait, hold up. Right? Because now Destiny is getting into the arena of, well, y'all wanted me, to spend the night and this and that, and I was nervous and I was scared. And Mel's like, hold up. You spent the night at my house all types of times, and there has been never no hanky-panky, nothing inappropriate going down. So what do you mean you're nervous? What do you mean you have all these feelings and all these things now? What in the HELL are you talking about? And so, nonetheless, and then Martell's in the background like, well, we're all in the same bed, and Destiny's like, I didn't say that, and Mel's like, well, I didn't ever do anything to you, I never touched you inappropriately, I never got down with you intimately like that, and Destiny's like, well, I never said that. Well, what are you implying when you say somebody is grooming? And then Nell tied it all together with sorry, I hit my mic. With which, Mel was talking about when she said that they all would hang out all the time as couples. So there wasn't this need for all of this mentoring and counseling, that it was basically the three couples always hanging out together. It was the Fletchers, it was the Williams, it was the Holts. They were always hanging out together. And a lot of times it would be after hours, a lot of times, and that's when Mel made the comment, who was the person who, never was the one that was able to get out of there, who was never able to leave the house. And Nell confirmed it was Destiny. Destiny was always trying to hang on, was always trying to stay over, didn't want to be, just go back home, be alone with her husband. None of that. She was trying to see what allegedly was going down. And you tried to make that same type of threesome nonsense with Kimmy and Maurice. And so Martell at first is trying to play like he doesn't know what Destiny is talking about. And at first he was trying to clarify what Destiny meant and who was involved in the threesome. And then as long as Destiny wasn't involved in the threesome, then he's up here telling Carlos King that, oh, well, if I don't remember, but if Destiny's saying it, then it must be true. And I'm like, are you serious right now, Martell? For as long as you've been married to Mel and the mother of your kids, and you know that your kids are old enough to get on these social media streets where people are going to be playing this disgusting video and this disgusting audio, and it is going to be out here. It's already all over Facebook. It is already on Twitter. It is already on Instagram and TikTok. And now it's about to be plastered all over YouTube. And this is the energy that you want out there. It is absolutely deplorable. It is absolutely disgusting. So, nonetheless, this grooming allegation is not going well, because basically Martell is letting Destiny run the show, much like everything else when she tried to run the nonsense about Sonny and Mel conspiring together, and she had zero backup. So then she pivots and now wants to accuse Mel of allegedly giving Martell an oral transaction during their 10-year anniversary dinner, which would have been, season 1 of the show? That was back in 2019, 2020? Are you kidding me right now? We're talking about something 5-6 years ago, potentially 7 years ago, whenever it was originally filmed. Is this what we're doing right now? You're so desperate for this TV show, Destiny, that you're just going to go all balls to the wall? And so Mel is looking at Destiny like, what does whatever did or didn't happen in a limo have to do with you making these grooming allegations? It's not making any sense. And so nonetheless, that is when Destiny decides to throw Tisha under the bus. And it's like, oh, wait, hold on. This is national anthem. Hold on. Okay, we're back from the national anthem. So, nonetheless, Destiny now throws Tisha under the bus and is basically like, well, Tisha, what do you have to say? You're the one who told me about the limo story and that Mel was being inappropriate with the husbands or whatever. And Mel's like, what? Well, what are you talking about? So then we're looking over at Tisha because the camera keeps going over to Tisha. First, she has her hands over her eyes. And then she's like, well, as for the limo story,
The limo story is apparently Martell wanted to engage in some sexual acts, in some adult and grown-up acts. This is so disgusting to discuss, by the way. But they wanted to engage in some adult acts, and I'm thinking pineapples, I'm thinking swinger activity, right? And Martell wanted to do it, and allegedly Mel said she was down to do it or whatever, right? But then Martell got mad because Scott's 1.0 and Scott's 2.0 didn't want to participate, did not want to partake in the pineapple activities. So my question is, did the alleged oral transaction actually take place, or is this Destiny's version? Because with Tisha, she didn't necessarily deny, but she didn't really confirm Destiny's version either. What she did confirm was at the minimum there was a conversation that Mel and Tel were down to participate in and partake in, but that Scott's 1.0 and Scott's 2.0 were not down with it in the limo. And then Kimmy's pissed because Kimmy's like, how did Destiny find out about this conversation if there was only 6 of us in the limo? And that's when Tasha was like, oh, well, I was, I told this to Destiny because I was mad at Martell after the Dollar Tree Field Day event. And my thing is, no, Tisha. No. You and Destiny conspired because you wanted this to shame Mel. This is the bottom line. You wanted to shame Mel. You thought you had a gotcha. And you wanted Destiny to put her own spin on it, her own butter on it, to make it sound like Mel is just out here and is just doing all this stuff out in public and all these things and all this and that. And that y'all were all voyeurs watching all this stuff go down. It's so perverse, it's so disgusting, it is so disturbing as far as I am concerned, you guys. And so, nonetheless, Mel is like, listen, I've been around everybody here. There has not been at one point in time, outside of me and Martell, have I ever come on to anybody in this group. And even Marceau adds in the background, and nor has anybody in this group come on to each other. And then Tisha, once she realizes that this limo story is all types of effed up and is going completely left and is going completely wrong, she decides to say that the inappropriate text between Marceau and Mel was that Marceau texted Mel that he was rooting for her and Martell to work things out for them to get back together, and Mel's response in the text was, are you rooting for me and Martell or just rooting for me? And I don't know what's inappropriate about that. There was nothing that was flirtatious. There was nothing that was inappropriate. There was nothing that was suggesting that Mel and Marceau need to get down with the get down or anything. All Mel was saying was, listen, at this point, I know who Martell is. I've took him back a million times after all of his cheating and all the nonsense with the concubine and this and that, and I'm done. Are you really team me and Martell because you know Martell's going to continue to be on some BS? Or are you team me and hoping to see me be successful and all these things? That's not inappropriate, Tisha. And if you're thinking that that's inappropriate, then at this point, you just have an issue with Mel. At this point, you just have an issue with Mel. You're intimidated by Mel. You feel a certain type of way about Mel regarding any communication at this point with Marceau, and you just needed to keep it a buck for what it is. Because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like you feel a way about Mel. Because there was nothing that was inappropriate about that text message. So, nonetheless, Mel said, listen, I'm going to keep it a buck. When me and Martell had our issues, and it's funny because she said Maurice was even counseling, her and Martell, and Maurice didn't deny it. And Maurice and Marceau would send, positive encouragement. They would try to talk to Mel. They would try to be mediators in hopes that her and Martel would work things out. Nobody on that stage denied that. Nobody on that stage called Mel a liar when Mel was saying all of that. Everyone has mouths. Everyone can open them. Everyone can use their voice. If Mel said something that was completely wrong, nobody did. And so, nonetheless, and then Tisha wants to chime in. Yeah. Mel and Marceau, they would call and text each other all the time about business advice, about this, about that. And, at this point in time, as far as the girls go, I consider Kimmy and Mel like my sisters. So this is how you do your sister, Tisha? You say slanderous and defamatory things to Destiny? You team up with the ops, you link up with the ops when you and Mel aren't on good terms? Like this is what we're doing? This is how we're conducting ourselves? This is how y'all are behaving at y'all big ages? And then y'all want to post, and this is the thing too that's agitating, right? Because Carlos King is trying to make it seem like, the core six, it's about prestige, it's about black excellence, there's a level of respect for each other, da-da-da-da-da. Well, is there? Because I would think hiding that you've known about Revenge P for a few years is disrespect. I would think that Marceau and Maurice going on trips with the concubine, with Martel's concubine, to Atlanta and wherever else is disrespect, and having the audacity to still give Mel advice to stick with this dude. I'm just saying, I think there's a lot of disrespect that's actually going around, that we needed to keep it a buck, that there is no respect. But this whole Limo story, I would think with all the things that, the Scotts and everybody else have tried to expose about Mel and everything else all these years, all these seasons, if that Limo story is true, why is it only coming out in 2025? Because apparently, everything else is on the table. Revenge P saying that, the concubine, you're willing to film scenes with her, like all this other stuff. You're trying to tell me that this allegedly went down and nobody said anything? I feel there's more to the story. And I think the reason Martel had the audacity to even suggest that in the limo is because of the fact of what the plane said in that interview about allegedly the brothers going behind one another and choo-choo training these women. So nonetheless, Martel probably thought, hey, since we choo-choo train these women out here on these trips, on our bachelor trips, why don't we choo-choo train? Why don't we get the party going, in this limo? Because you guys have not established the boundaries. So Martel does not think that there is any, and doesn't think that there's any bottom of, any barrel that's too low. And I find it interesting that we're getting this story about Mel in a limo all of a sudden, right after Martel alleges at the adult field day event that it was Tisha getting busy with somebody in the car, that her own mom confirmed was the Bruick, that Tisha was getting busy in the car. So now we're going to change the story to it was Mel in the limo. Like, do y'all peep that? Whenever there's an allegation against somebody else in the group, somehow the story changes that it's Mel. It's Mel and somebody else doing something. Just like, again, Martel has said all these years that Mel does not do any oral transactions. And we have in this reunion alone, that was his excuse, I guess, to cheat, right? In this reunion alone, we have the actual Revenge P video, which was an oral transaction that was in New York the weekend of Destiny's wedding to LeBaric. And then allegedly there was an oral transaction, or talking about an oral transaction, in a limo during the 10-year anniversary. So when did the non-oral transactions take place that Martel wants to talk about here? Is what I want to know. I'm just trying to make it make sense. I'm just trying to understand, like what is really good, like what is really going on here. That, you know, these stories, everybody has the same story, but they want to swap out the names, they want to swap out the details, and think people are idiots and that people aren't going to peep game. Like, I'm just trying to understand, like what are we doing right now? Because none of this is making sense, but the one thing that is for certain is that this is a class action lawsuit, because Destiny basically wasted nearly 10 minutes of a segment trying to set up Mel and make grooming allegations multiple times for events she wasn't there for, made threesome allegations but referenced specific situations that she was not there for. And even Nell had to chime in and say, I know you lying. This group doesn't get down like that. So it's like your argument all falls apart, and you keep looking at Martell. And then when Martell doesn't back you, you then throw Tisha under the bus. Again, what does potential swinger activity have to do with grooming? That's not the same thing. Pineapple activity is not the same thing as grooming, Destiny, and I think you know that. I don't want to call anybody dumb or an idiot or a moron, but it's giving that level of energy that people think that people are so stupid. We are in the post-Me Too era, where anything involving any type of grooming, any type of DRUGGING, any type of RAPE allegations, any of that stuff is out of bounds. You know exactly what you're doing when you say that. You are trying to destroy somebody's entire existence, entire reputation, so that nobody works with them, nobody works for them, because you're trying to put out a false narrative that they're out here in public trying to be inappropriate with people and throwing themselves at all these people and trying to hook up with all these people. It is you, Destiny, that has the issue, that is obsessed with SEX. It is you that has hung on all over Mel on the girls' trip, telling her how much you love her and all this and that, begging for her and you to get back and all these things, only for you to return to Huntsville after that girls' trip and completely slander her name, completely drag her name up and down and all around and all of these things. And it's just exhausting. But you're the one that has all of your products named after SEX, Big D Energy, Sugar Walls, all of the things, Destiny, panties up for grabs, vibrators, portable and regular size up for grabs. But you're going to sit here and try to make Mel sound like she's the sexual deviant here? When it's you that's being linked to all these men in this show? It's you that's being linked to your brother Martell on multiple occasions, him joking that your son looks like him? That's okay. You being linked to Kimmy's son Jalen? That's okay. You kissing on Nell's son Lance and lying about your age? That's okay. You and Moses, this alleged 15-year entanglement? That is okay. You and LeBaric? You apparently and the dude in the dress that you were flirting with at your, one event that you had, the Madani Riri opening or whatever. You were flirting with him and allegedly brought him to, the Western Showdown. The same day that your son is supposed to be, the day before your son was supposed to be back with his father. That same hoedown. Like, at what point is this going to stop? At what point, y'all, is this going to stop? Is this going to end? Because I'm tired. I am tired. But after this show needs to go away. This show needs to go away. And the problem now is that, we're obviously after this last part of this reunion are done. But now the thing is, we have to make sure legally that all of this is done. Because what I think the plan was for next season was the cast was going to try to, use this grooming storyline to have another Real Housewives of Atlanta season 9 moment. That was going to be their big grand 10th season filming, where it was going to be an all-out attack on Mel with all types of sexual allegations and all types of sexual deviant allegations and all these things, and Destiny was going to lead the charge. And everyone else was going to hide behind all of it and pretend to be clueless, pretend to have no idea. But Tisha, you got caught. You got exposed. Martell, you're caught. You're exposed. Carlos King, you're caught. You're exposed, because this segment shouldn't have seen the light of day. And I think at some point you realized that, because you kept looking dead at the camera, that this segment was not going the way that you wanted it to go. You thought it was just going to be a little key here about some, lesbianist flirtation type of stuff. You didn't know the level of grooming, how far this was really going to go. But yet you have the audacity talking about some moving in silence videos today on your social media accounts. Moving in silence is not allowing this type of footage to leak, because you know this is going to cause an all-out war. So hopefully that class action lawsuit papers are drawn up sooner than later. Hopefully everyone has a cease and desist and can never discuss Mel's name again, cannot refer to her ever again, directly or indirectly. And perhaps there needs to be a restraining order with Destiny as well, that she's not allowed around the 4-piece nuggets. Because how dare you make these allegations against their mother and have the audacity to hang around at Martell's house like this, around these kids, knowing the disgusting allegations you have made against their mother and their grandmother, Destiny. It is deplorable. You are out of control and you need therapy, and the mess that you're doing with Dion, I don't care if she's licensed or not, it is not helping you. You're not doing any type of mental health or any type of evaluations or retrospection, nothing. You're getting worse. You need to be admitted, because this is out of control. So there's that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post the content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.